If you're a founder, I bet you've spent countless hours trying to guess what investors actually want, right? You polish your deck, you practice your pitch, but you're still left wondering. Well, the truth is, what seed investors are looking for is often much simpler and a whole lot harder to fake. So, what is that secret sauce? It's not about having some flawless business plan or a product that's already a massive hit. In this explainer, we're going to break down what truly makes a startup fundable at the very earliest stages. We're going to get inside the investor's mind. And that, right there, is the key. The things that matter most can't just be manufactured for a pitch meeting. No way. They have to be built into the very DNA of your company and, maybe more importantly, into you as a founder. Okay, first step. We're going to look beyond the perfect pitch. We've got to move past this idea that a slick presentation is what gets you the check. It's not. Investors are literally trained to see through all that polish and find the substance underneath. And that's what we'll explore first. So what is that substance really? Well, it pretty much comes down to two foundational pillars. Long before an investor digs into your product or your market size, they are laser focused on these two things: the problem you're solving and you, the person solving it. Let's start with the problem. This is like the very first hurdle you have to clear. Before an investor cares one bit about your solution, they have to be absolutely convinced that the problem you're tackling is real, it's sharp, and it's basically unavoidable for your customers. So, what makes a problem real in an investor's eyes? It has to hit these three marks. 1, is it obvious to anyone in that industry? 2, is it urgent, meaning people need a solution now? And 3, is it genuinely painful? Is it causing real frustration or costing them real money? Look, if you're just solving a minor inconvenience, man, that is going to be a tough sell. Okay, this is so important. So many founders just rush to show off their amazing product. But you build trust by first showing that you deeply, deeply understand what's broken, who it's broken for, and why nothing else has managed to fix it. Sell them on the problem, and then they'll actually be ready to hear about your solution. Now let's talk about you, the founder. There's this myth that investors are looking for some polished, perfect CEO who has a slick answer for everything. The reality? They're betting on your thinking. They want a builder who has clarity, someone who asks really smart questions, can explain complex ideas simply, and is just deeply self-aware. Okay, so you've established a real problem and you've shown you're the right founder to tackle it. The third piece of the puzzle is proving you can actually get stuff done. This is where investors look for traction, and that's a word that means a lot more than just revenue. Look, at the seed stage, traction just means forward motion. That's it. Investors want to see that you've accomplished something with very little. It's the proof that you're a doer, not just a dreamer, and that you can make real progress without needing a huge check to get started. And hey, this motion, it doesn't have to be revenue, not at all. It can take a lot of different forms. Maybe you've run a few successful pilot programs, or you've secured some early partnerships, or you've built a working prototype. For a deep tech company, it might be validating a key technical assumption or filing a patent. All of this, it all counts as real, meaningful progress. And you know what? How you talk about this progress is just as important. Investors are so tired of the hype and the buzzwords. What really cuts through all that noise is clarity. A founder who can calmly break down their plan, focus on the very next milestone, and explain what they're choosing not to do, that right there, that shows maturity and focus. All right, next up, let's talk about your company's blueprint. Now, this might not seem as exciting as your product, but trust me, it's an area where a ton of deals fall apart. Investors have to see that your startup is actually structured in a way that makes it easy to invest in. This is a question you really have to ask yourself, honestly. An investor isn't just funding your idea. They are buying a piece of your company. And the very first document they're going to look at to understand that ownership is the capitalization table, or what everyone calls the cap table. Seriously, a clean cap table is a huge advantage. It means the ownership structure is simple, and the founders still hold a significant stake. A messy one, on the other hand, one that's crowded with lots of small investors on weird terms, that's a major red flag. It just tells an investor that their money is going to be spent on cleanup, not on growth. Okay, and finally, let's get to the long game, building an unbeatable future. Once an investor believes in the problem, the founder, and the company structure, they need to believe in the company's potential to actually win. And that means having a big vision that's grounded in a defensible reality. This quote really gets to a hard truth. Being first to market, that's almost never enough.
Investors know that good ideas attract competition fast. So the crucial question you have to answer is, how are you going to protect what you're building?
That's what we call defensibility. It's your moat. It's the thing you're doing that makes it incredibly difficult for a well-funded competitor to just come in, copy your product, and overtake you. This could be your unique technology, a proprietary data set you're building, or formal intellectual property.
And of course, the vision is absolutely critical. It's great to dream big, but a grand vision that feels totally disconnected from today's reality, it just won't land. A grounded vision is way more powerful. It shows exactly how the small steps you're taking right now are creating the path to that much bigger future.
And all of this, it brings us to the absolute core of what seed investing is all about. After all the analysis of the market, the product, and the plan, it all comes back to one thing. Let's just let that sink in for a second. They are not investing in a finished company. They are investing in your potential to build a great company. They are funding your ability to navigate the absolute chaos and uncertainty that is definitely coming your way. So here's the bottom line. Your most important job as a founder in these early days isn't to have all the answers. It's to show that you can face the unknown with a focused, intentional, and thoughtful approach. That is the trait that's so rare and so incredibly valuable. So that's the real question I want to leave you with. Forget the perfect pitch for a minute. Instead, ask yourself, through your actions, your clarity, and your progress, are you proving every single day that you're the founder worth betting on?